what if we just started our own agency? And the next words out of my mouth were, how hard could it be? I had no idea it was going to be the hardest thing that we have ever done, but it's the most rewarding thing.
This is the Pass the Pitch podcast with Anna Frazzetto. Each episode, we sit down with bold thinkers and industry trailblazers to uncover the strategies, stories, and sparks of inspiration that drive growth and transformation. Let's get started.
Welcome to our podcast. We are in full swing this season. Today, I have the pleasure of having Suzanne Davenport on the show. I met Suzanne at the Healthcare Summit, and I have never been there before. So it was a great event for sure. And one of my highlights was meeting Suzanne. We had the opportunity to be at a networking table together. But the real treat was I was able to listen to her story at center stage as a keynote speaker with her partner and husband. And what I love, Suzanne, is that in your LinkedIn, you state that you're a seasoned clinical professional and you have over a decade of hands-on experience, and that you've now channeled that experience and entrepreneurial spirit into co-founding Lucid Staffing Solutions. But what's very unique about your staffing company, different than the staffing world that I come from many years of being in the IT and engineering space, is that you truly are dealing with saving lives. So I used to joke often with my team saying, okay, come on team, it's not like we're saving lives, but actually you can say you are saving lives because of what you do day in and day out. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here and chat with you.
Excellent. So I figured where we would start is I'm a big fan of kind of looking at how do we take a look at our organizations and growth. This is a common problem that I hear from many companies across all sectors, driving growth in an organization during some volatile times, right? We haven't had the best economy. We haven't had the best political climate. There's been lots of issues and challenges. So from your perspective, and coming from the healthcare space, maybe you could share a little bit about your story and how do you manage through these uncertain times?
Sure. Yeah. So, Lucid was born as a clinician, and I traveled during the pandemic along with my partner and husband. Lucid was born out of the idea that I think, healthcare staffing agencies are wonderful. They offer a lot of opportunity, but there's a lot of things that, could be done better. And I think the pandemic really kind of exacerbated and brought a lot of those issues to the forefront of people's attention. And so, Lucid, we created Lucid as the kind of agency by the people for the people, to support the clinical community that we serve. And it's been great. And I think, I attribute a lot of our growth and success and a lot of the companies that are still growing to really honing in on building strong relationships with their clinicians and their clients and focusing more on those relationships and less transactional based communication. I think that that's a really big part, is recognizing that this is a really clinicians have a very strong emotional connection to their jobs, and it's really important that we treat them well and support them through the whole employment experience. And then, I think the other thing is a lot of companies jumped into a lot of different verticals and different stuff during the pandemic because it was needed and it was necessary. So there was a lot of opportunity there. But I think, there's a lot. I think the jack of all trades and master of none doesn't necessarily apply here. I think it's really important to, you can't be everything to everyone. So be really great at what you do, at your thing. What is your differentiator? What makes you different? What makes you special? And then take that and be, hyper focused on being the best at that. And I think that that's really, where a lot of companies are going to see a lot of growth is what is your niche? What is the thing that you do well? And just being hyper focused on that.
I love the way you kind of put that, Suzanne, because like one of the challenges, actually, I was just recently doing a presentation and one of the topics was diversification, and some companies trying to do so much and then not being great at any one thing.
Yeah, totally. And like for us, being a clinician operators and, our team, all of our recruiters, account managers, and salespeople are clinicians. That's our secret sauce. And not to say that everybody needs to be, just like us and that makes it better or worse. But, what makes you special? What makes you different? And then how do you appeal that to your clinicians and your clients and what makes them drive to work with you, what makes them advocate to work with you. I think that's a big part. And then, just kind of back to basics, like treating people right, doing the right thing. It might not always be the best thing for the business or the most profitable thing every time, but in the long run, it will be because you'll have people in your corner that want to continue to work with you.
I love it. I love it, which actually kind of leads me to kind of talk a little bit about the next thing, which is impact of culture. And I was thinking about your session and the presentation that you did at the Healthcare Summit and the message of cohesion. Right. So it was such a powerful message because it sounds so simple, being a cohesive unit and what does that really mean? But also talk about cultural impact and the places that you went to and you were going from, please refresh my memory, how many cities and countries that you were visiting throughout this whole process. Share a little bit about that.
Yeah, sure. So Daniel, my co-founder and now husband, we actually met on a travel assignment when we were working at Yale in New Haven. We were total strangers and he opened the door for me and that's how we met. And then we've traveled, we've moved over 30 times in the last 6 years, lived in multiple different states. We actually were in Guam during COVID. And so I've experienced a lot of different cultures and a lot of different hospital systems and places. And, then entering into the corporate role, which is a totally, that's a whole culture shock within itself. And when people ask me what am I most proud of, I can say this wholly and truly that I'm most proud of the culture that we've cultivated within our company, within Lucid, and then what we try to instill, to our secondary employees outward, like our clinicians and clients. But it's the thing that I'm honestly the most proud of. I feel such a responsibility to our team. We give them a huge part of their life. They spend, a third of their waking hours with us every day with each other. And so to have a group of people that are excited to come to work every day and want and believe in the mission and believe in what we're doing and try to make the staffing world a better place for everyone, that fills my cup, honestly, more than any revenue or anything else. And with that, obviously success does come, but from working in the hospital system where things like bullying and, it's not abnormal to have a really toxic work environment. It's actually like very common. We were so motivated to make a change in that. I'm most proud of that.
Yeah, you talk about culture on so many different levels. And I think that's one of the biggest challenges that I see happening with companies across corporate America is the impact on the culture, especially with having remote teams. That kind of threw lots of companies through a loop. But meanwhile, you worked in an environment where remote is part of the solution. And yet you're able to cultivate the culture that you need to kind of move things forward.
It's so important. And, and like I said, we put so much effort into that because I do think when you have a team who feels supported and feels encouraged and believes in what you're doing, again, they will work harder for you. And sometimes it takes a little more effort, but in the long run, it pays off in more ways than just, financial.
No, that's terrific. All right. So Suzanne, what do you do for creating that balance in your life, right? I mean, we talk about the amount of travel and the amount of change and being able to grow your business. And often it's a little bit of a sacrifice on the family, maybe even health, well-being. And how do you create an atmosphere, not only that it's great for your employees, but for yourself personally in being able to always keeping well-being top of mind?
I could do better at that. But it's something I'm working on. I'm not a big one for resolutions, but 2025 is going to be a year of doing some self-care for me. I laugh. So when we started Lucid, Daniel and I were sitting on our couch And we were, just brainstorming, and I said to him, "What if we just started our own agency?" And the next words out of my mouth were, "How hard could it be?" And I had no idea it was going to be the hardest thing that we have ever done, but it's the most rewarding thing. I think, being a leader is so hard. I give myself to my team every day. It's my responsibility as a leader, but my cup gets filled up by knowing that, we've cultivated a great team and that they feel supported. But work-life balance is tough when you're running a business with your spouse. I know during our speech, Daniel kind of alluded to our date nights are also business meetings. And so you just have to really be intentional about the time that you take for yourself. It can be difficult to find that work-life balance, but I think it's really important just to take intentional moments for yourself, even if it's as simple as going to work out for 30 minutes or, making a meal. All those things sound so simple, but, when you're trying to, grow a business and, you focus so much on that and other people, those things don't come so easy. So I've been really trying to focus on being intentional, because I know that if I take care of myself, I'll better take care of everyone else. And that's how it was when I was a caregiver too. It's hard. You give so much of yourself all day that you forget to eat or even, go to the bathroom sometimes. And so I'm really trying to focus on that.
I know it really is hard. And also, I think like when you start your own business, like I started AFM Strategic Partners, and the challenge is, there's no such thing as a defined workday, right? So because everything you're doing is you're trying to grow the business, you're trying to, expand. So, and then you start using the weekend to, well, I'm going to get organized for the week. And then before you know it, you really don't have personal time. That's my biggest challenge. I'm like, no, I have to carve out time where I'm exercising and focusing on food and things of that nature.
Yeah, I totally feel that, especially then with the hurricanes, us getting hit with the hurricanes, we have that adversity in the house. And yeah, it's definitely taken its toll, but it's forcing us to take some, time and step away. And, I have to remind myself that the world's not going to collapse if I'm gone for a few hours to go do some stuff. And you take care of stuff, and then I'll feel better. And yeah, we definitely are going to continue to try to do better with that for sure.
All right. I had a guest on the podcast that actually talked about exercise snacks. And I told him, I said, I'm copying this and I'm going to use it in every podcast because I thought it was a brilliant term. But he would say that, you have snacks throughout the course of the day if you're working from home, and you'll go downstairs and you can grab some nuts or fruit or whatever. So why not just like pause and do 10 push-ups, do 10 sit-ups, do, run up and down the stairs a couple of times. I'm like, this is brilliant. Why have I never thought of something like this? But you kind of do like first, right? And then you incorporate it into your day's, activities so that you're keeping the juices flowing.
Yeah, I love that so much. Yeah. So I had said that all of our recruiters are former clinicians or had been travelers. And one of our recruiters is actually a certified nurse coach, like to do health and wellness. And we were just talking this morning about doing some breath work in the morning for, as a group. And it's so hard for me to even slow my brain down enough because, Daniel and I are both dreamers, and we're both like, much like you, I'm always thinking about what's the next thing? How can we, do this and do that? And sometimes I have to force myself to stop my brain and just relax. So I'm excited to start incorporating some of those things into our whole company for everybody.
That's great. So Suzanne, before we kind of go into like some fun stuff here on the podcast, do you want to share any vision, any thoughts as far as the future of Lucid Staffing? What excites you the most about 2025?
Sure. Yeah. I'm really excited for 2025 because I think, after the COVID pendulum swung and everyone was, doing really great. And then the industry kind of took a little bit of a downturn with, the changes and the need. I think that we're starting to level out, and what we're going to see is, I think it's going to be a steady year of growth for a lot of people. And I'm excited that I feel like people are starting to reinvest into quality and relationships. And it's become a topic. It's become a really, a big conversation amongst, at SIA and things like that. I'm excited to, hopefully see clinicians fall back in love with the profession again and see that staffing agencies are here to help them and to, get them to the places that they want to go and ultimately, advance their careers. I'm optimistic about, clinicians and clients falling back in love with the industry and, making it, giving a positive outlook of the industry, I think. So, and I'm really excited to be a part of that. We have some really big initiatives here coming up in 2025 that I'm really, really excited about. And I think I'm really optimistic for the outlook of the healthcare staffing industry.
That's definitely very inspiring, right? To make sure that we have some great activity in 2025. Okay, so what I'd like to do now is let's have a little bit of fun. What's the most unusual item on your desk right now?
That's so funny that you asked that because I don't have a desk right now. With the hurricane, I lost my desk and my office and everything. So I don't have a desk right now, unfortunately. I'm on laptop lab life as of now, but hopefully soon we will rebuild and I will be able to get a new standing desk to do my exercise snacks.
Yes. And then you could also have a little treadmill underneath your desk there.
Yes, that is goals.
Okay, so what's your guilty pleasure song that you never want anyone to hear during a sales call?
Probably some musical theater song, honestly. I'm a big music person. I listen to music to do absolutely everything. I always have music on, so not too much shame, but probably I love musical theater, so you can catch me probably singing a show tune. And sometimes I forget to hang up on calls and people have heard it, but that's just, it's okay.
That's all right. Like my favorite is the opening to Moulin Rouge.
Oh, okay. That's a fun one.
Oh, that's a great one. Yeah. Not sure I want to have it as a background during a sales call, but definitely a fun vibe song. Okay. So who would play you in a movie?
Oh, well, if they were like casting up to make me look prettier, I would say Margot Robbie. If I go with the person people tell me that I always look like, it's I think Emma Roberts is probably the most common person that they say that I look like. So I'd probably go with that. But yeah, if it was like we were staffing up, so to speak, I'd go with Margot Robbie.
Oh my goodness, no! You look like Margot Robbie, so don't say it's no. I love that.
I love you,
Margot Robbie. That's okay. So if you were a superhero, what would your sales-related superpower be?
Oh, this is easy. Mind control, no question. Say yes. Say yes to me. Sold.
I know.
That's an easy one.
That is an easy one. I think every salesperson on the planet would say that. Make you sign that. What's one word your colleagues would use to describe you on a Monday morning?
This is funny because it's probably not what a lot of people would think, but excited. So we have themes. We have themes to our. We have a morning meeting every day of the week, and Monday is Motivational Monday, and so admittedly, I get excited for the morning meeting and I get really like pepped up to start the week off. So I'm usually the cheerleader in the morning on Monday, asking everyone what they're motivated for. And we kind of go around and I'll share something that people are particularly excited about for that work week. And so I'm usually excited to get the week started. So
that's a great word. Honestly, for anybody in sales, it should be one of those upbeat, words to describe them for sure. Suzanne, any closing thoughts before we wrap up the podcast?
Well, I really appreciate just chatting with you, and I admire you and your experience and your tenure in the industry, and it's really great to just get to know you and chat with you. And I just want to echo, kind of what I said before, is that I'm really excited for this year to come, and I'm excited to see all the new and innovative ways that people, grow and figure out how to, find their differentiators and their niches and corner their markets. And, I think there's enough meat on the bone for everybody here in staffing. And so I'm really excited to see what the people, who grow, what they do and how they, focus on what they're doing and are successful. And I'm really proud of what we've grown so far. And I'm just, I'm excited for what's to come.
Well, that's fantastic. I'll tell you, Suzanne, I'm keeping my eye on Lucid Staffing because I think you have such an exciting and adventurous spirit. And I think that's going to translate fantastically into your company. So I look forward to much growth to you and your partners. So thanks again for being here.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. And I'm excited to, keep chatting, and let's stay connected.
Thanks for listening to the Pass the Pitch podcast with Anna Frazzetto. Don't forget to subscribe and share. In our next episode, we're talking to Alfonso Perez about innovation and cultural impact in business. See you then.